Ho ho ho, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dev Diary. 'Tis the holiday season, so I thought we'd keep things chill with a cozy little holiday themed project, which was actually a lot tougher than I anticipated. So before we get to why, remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. Now today's game is pretty simple. The player controls one of Santa's elves, and sadly it seems that none of the toys in Santa's storage were labeled, making it the player's job to find the necessary toys for all the children on Santa's nice list. Players have until the sleigh reaches the end of the warehouse to find as many toys as possible, and there is no fail state, just some good old score attack fun. Now the player controls like your typical top-down game. As they pass over boxes, they are automatically opened, which is actually just an illusion. The code goes through a sequence of events starting with a queue system. This queue system is responsible for the visual of the box opening, spawning the actual toy object, and adding some particles for extra flavor. And when near enough, the player can interact with the toy objects using spacebar. If already holding a toy, they will drop that toy on the ground. If the player is not holding a toy, then the nearest toy can be picked up. All of this is done with variables, and the objects itself are destroyed or created when needed, because again, it's all good old holiday illusions. Now, if the player has a toy and is near enough to the sleigh, an extra check is made. If the held toy matches the toy displayed on the sleigh's screen, the toy is deposited, the player's score is increased, and a new toy is randomly chosen. The sleigh itself simply moves from the left side of the screen to the right. It will occasionally decide to stop, which is random. And when moving, it... Okay, I know it looks like it's farting, but the effect was totally meant to be like the dust poof effect, but you know, with colored stars. Like a magical trail of stars, but I guess it does look like some celestial toots, so moving on. The last feature I wanted to highlight was something technical, which is the instance calling. And this is something I touched on with my Forager video from about a month or two ago. And similar to Forager, in order to keep performance in check, toys outside of the view area are called. And thankfully, because they're extremely basic objects with no major systems attached to them, this was a cakewalk to implement. Though, admittedly, I did not do the best job of implementation, because a bunch of added activation exceptions still had to be made. But time was of the essence and it still worked fine. And actually the original idea was to have more boxes continuously spawn in, but it oddly made the entire thing more like anxious. And I'm not exactly sure what the cause was, but it just felt like it went against the vibes, you know? Especially since, as much as I'd like to consider this a cozy game, the battle against RNG is never chill. Nevertheless, this was the project. It was slightly last minute and I ended up spending too much time on the graphics, so much so that I didn't even have time to animate the player. Still, the goal was to make something cozy, which is often the complete opposite of the chaos that usually appears on the channel, and it was actually kind of challenging, and it made me really want to try making more cozy games because it felt so like alien. But anyway, I would love to know what you thought of the project. Like, what would you do to make it even cozier? So be sure to leave anything on your mind in the comments. And if you would like to play some other less cozy games that have been featured on the channel previously, or want early access to the weekly videos, subscribe to my Patreon. With that said, it brings us to the end of today's Dev Diary, so thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful holiday and new year, and I'll see you next time.